Warning: the following video contains explicit language, which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Are you ready? Hey everybody, it's Jeff. Glad everybody's here. Well, it's Christmas Eve, everybody, and I didn't think I was going to be doing a video today, but as it turned out, I had a little more time than I thought. Probably won't be doing one tomorrow because I'll be elsewhere, but anyway, we had about 3, maybe 4 inches of snow last night, so it was really nice. And the funny thing is the decorations, the lights out by the school that everybody likes to see in VZ, for some reason they're not working very well, because half of them are working and the other half isn't, and I'm thinking it's probably because of damage from, you know, the windstorm we had, and they never really fixed it, you know, and I just, people are out there, you know, and they're driving away because, you know, it's not working. You know, some of them are flashing and some are, so it really got messed up this year, because we had that, that windstorm, this month here, and, it did some damage. You know, remember we had lost the power here for about 12 hours, so, but yeah, that's the way it goes, you know, these things happen. Anyway, today I have a couple of videos, and the first one I'm going to play for you is about AOC and her talking about how MAGA right now has divided loyalties between Trump and Musk, and that when either one of them tweets or otherwise posts on something, okay, they're not quite sure who to take their, you know, their marching orders from. And I could see how that would be confusing for us, the rest of us, because, you know, we understand how the government is supposed to work, but with MAGA, they're like inventing it as they go. So with this sharing here of power between the two, they're, you know, it's like, who is going to be the one that's actually going to implement things? Because you saw how influential Musk was when it came to the, you know, stopping the goddamn or preventing the, you know, the government from shutting down. He wanted it to shut down, but, you know, he damn near got that. Musk did, you know, and it's like, you know, hey, who the hell is he anyway? Nobody voted for him. You know, he shouldn't be that close to government or that close to the president to influence things that way. And so Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is on in this video talking about that issue. And so let's go to that video here. We'll discuss that on the other side.
So AOC was answering questions, I guess, I don't know if this is Instagram or TikTok, but she's really been connecting directly with her audience a lot lately. And so there was a bunch of questions about Elon Musk and Trump, and she says some interesting things here. So let's start with this one.
Elon Musk, I believe, does create problems for Trump. And I've been seeing over the course of the last week that when Elon tweets something and when Trump tweets something, Republicans don't know I've said this earlier, Republicans don't know who their daddy is. Like, they don't know which one they need to be listening to first, and it's scrambling them. But it's not a joke that I think Elon poses real political problems for Trump and arguably may have at least rival his power and influence. And that's going to be a problem for Trump. They're both bad, but there you go.
So the base now doesn't know who their daddy is. That's what she's saying. Look, it'll be interesting to find out when they break up. Not if, when they break up. It'll be interesting to see. Because in the U.S. system, yeah, money is power. Ever since the Supreme Court said spending money in politics is equal to freedom of speech, what you're saying is the people who have the loudest voice, the biggest megaphone, it's the billionaires. It's the corporations. They can do and get whatever the hell they want. But at the same time, there is also power in numbers. And Trump is more willing than anybody I've ever seen in my lifetime at the presidential level to use the bully pulpit. And so if Elon crosses Trump enough, if he gets pissed off with him enough, he can sick MAGA on Elon Musk. He can weave a narrative about how Elon Musk betrayed him and betrayed the movement and can really fucking bury this guy. And so I think she's right that at the moment, there's a little bit of confusion. If there's a contradiction between what Daddy Trump says and Daddy Elon says, it is a bit of a scramble. Like, hey, who do we go with? Why do we go with them, etc.? But my instinct says that when push comes to shove, Trump is ultimately going to get the upper hand. I think the majority of MAGA would agree with Trump, believe in Trump, take his word over Elon Musk's word. And remember, as I keep pointing out, Elon gets a tremendous amount of corporate welfare, government subsidies, taxpayer money directly into his businesses and his pocket. And Trump holds, no pun intended, the Trump card on that. Also, Elon is an immigrant. He's an immigrant. And according to Elon's brother, at one point, they were illegal immigrants. So, Trump has, at any moment, he can bring out the argument that here we're dealing with a billionaire, robber baron, immigrant, welfare queen, and he's trying to hijack MAGA. No, bitch. I am MAGA. And at the end of the day, you guys know that they will follow their cult leader. But just because there's like a strong second-hand man in or first mate in the cult, I don't think he has the juice to overpower Trump, even though he has all the money, right? But right now, since they're aligned, what you're looking at is the most rank representation of oligarchy we've ever seen, right? Because they're saying, hey, anybody votes against anything that Trump does, any little piece of the agenda, if you disagree with it, you're going to get primaried, and Elon's going to primary you. Elon is even saying now, I'm going to ruin Democratic primaries. I'm going to fund moderate Democratic candidates. In other words, take Republican candidates, put them in Democratic primaries, and try to get those Republicans running as Democrats over the line and defeating any sort of progressive challenger. That's what he's saying. By the way, this is example number 7,312, that you need to get super PAC money out of Democratic primaries. Duh. But she's not done yet, so she has one more thing to say about this. So first was, who's your daddy, to the Republican base. I do think they're a little confused, but I think when push comes to shove, it will ultimately be Trump over Elon Musk. But finally, she's asked, how do we handle Elon? Listen to this. This is interesting.
Honestly, make fun of him effectively. This man so deeply desires public acceptance and adulation.
He's right. He's humiliating. This is a humiliating man who is super insecure, who's desperate for public affection. He posts like a fucking 14-year-old on Reddit, right? The fact that we have this man-child who's one of the most powerful people in the country because he's willing to buy a political party and a candidate and steer our political... That's unacceptable. It is completely and utterly unacceptable. And at the end of the day, he is craving love and support and adoration, but the policies he's pushing for will immiserate everybody and make our lives objectively worse. He literally said when Trump was running, oh, yeah, under the policies that we want, there's going to be economic hardship. There's going to be temporary economic hardship, but that's okay because in the long run, it'll work out. He looks up to fucking Malay in Argentina. They have over a 50% poverty rate, dude. But they don't care about the average person. They don't care about that. The whole point of Doge, the whole point of MAGA is to have robber barons get in there, loot the treasury for their own well-being, while hoodwinking the rest of the public and pretending like this is for their well-being when it's not. None of it's for their well-being. It's to cut taxes for the wealthy, deregulate business so they can do whatever the hell they want, loot the treasury and shake down the taxpayers by getting massive corporate welfare checks. Like, this is what it's about, right? But Musk, at the same time he wants that, he also wants public love and affection and adoration. And it's very obvious. It's very brazen. And the way you handle that, yeah, you got to punch the bully back. That's what you got to do. And so none of this like fucking let's meet them halfway and hold hands and sing Kumbaya and find minor areas of agreement. They don't even mean any of the half decent things they said, like when they say let's cut the Pentagon. Weird. Somebody proposed the Doge Act, a Republican in Congress, and it cut $0 from the military. Strange how that works. So they don't even mean it when they occasionally say something 5% of the time, 3% of the time that makes sense. They don't even mean those things. So punch the bully back. Punch the bully back. And he really stepped in it. He really had a rude awakening when Elon Musk tanked the $190 million in the continuing resolution that was going to go to children's cancer research. And then the media accurately and correctly reported on that he tanked the bill, and then they proposed a new one, and the new one didn't have it in there in the must-pass bill. And he was panicking. And he was, desperately trying to cover his tracks and correct the narrative. And it didn't fucking work. Because the media did their job and called him out. People like us called him out to the point where he tried to drag me on Twitter. And you done fucked up if you want to do that. All you're going to do is raise my profile because then people are going to Google who's telling the truth and they're going to realize it's me, bitch. And so AOC's right. Bully him. Bully him. Fuck you. Let's stop pretending like this is serious. These people are not serious. These people are a joke. 60% of billionaires were born into extreme wealth and privilege. He was born on third base and thought he hit a triple. And they genuinely think everything's a meritocracy already. They're just the smartest, so they rose to the top. They're just better than you, smarter than you, more brilliant than you, harder working than you. So they think they have the divine right of kings to own the system and run the system, right? And they don't. They don't at all. And we're going to let them know that's the case. Because if we don't stop them with their agenda, they're going to drive everything into the fucking ground. That's what's going to happen. And so, no holds barred. Call them out for the frauds that they are, because they are frauds. Bully his ass. Bully his ass. You got to punch the bully back. That's what you have to do. So, anyway, AOC having a jolly old time here at the expense of Elon Musk and Donald Trump. It's true that right now the base really doesn't know who their daddy is. And it's also true that the man who desperately yearns for the public's affection and adoration, usually those are the people who least deserve it too, by the way. The guy's got a fucking black void in his soul that he's desperately trying to fill up with the internet opinion of randos telling him how great he is. And that's the exact kind of person you cannot trust with power. Because he's already showing us what he's doing with it, and it ain't pretty. Hey, y'all, do me a favor.
I want to add a little icing onto that video here with this article here from Business Insider. And it's written by Brian Metzger. And it says here, it's been 2 weeks since President-elect Trump won another 4 years in the White House. Tesla CEO Elon Musk has been by his side for much of that time. Over the past 14 days, Musk has hopped on the phone with at least 2 foreign leaders, been tapped to lead his own government efficiency commission, offered advice to Trump's transition team, and hunkered down at the president-elect's Mar-a-Lago club. Musk also joined Trump at a meeting with House Republicans on November 13th, sitting in the front row as the president-elect spoke. Quote, Elon won't go home, unquote, Trump said jokingly to lawmakers in the room, told NBC News. Quote, I can't get rid of him, unquote. Here's a look at Trump and Musk whirling post-election partnership and photos from boxing matches to golf games. Here's a picture of him with Musk. President-elect Donald Trump's team is making clear that he's the one in charge of the Republican Party, not Musk. In a statement to Business Insider for a story about how Musk helped tank a government funding bill, otherwise known as a continuing resolution, this week. Caroline Leavitt, the Trump-Vance transition spokeswoman, pushed back on statements made by Democrats that Musk is actually calling the shots rather than the president-elect himself. Quote, as soon as President Trump released his official stance on the CR, Republicans on Capitol Hill echoed his point of view, unquote, Leavitt said. Quote, President Trump is the leader of the Republican Party, full stop, unquote. Musk has also rebuffed the idea he's calling the shots, writing on X, quote, all I can do is bring things to the attention of the people so they may voice their support if they so choose, unquote. Attention of the people. Who's the people? I mean, just the upper echelons of our country? Because he ain't talking to me. That post came after scores of Democrats baited Trump with social media posts accusing Musk of being the actual president-elect, the quote-unquote shadow president, or the quote-unquote co-president. While the statement from Trump and Vice President-elect J.D. Vance late Wednesday marked the final straw for the ill-fated government funding bill, Republican opposition had reached a fever pitch on Capitol Hill long before either of them weighed in. Several Republicans even cited arguments put forward by Musk or his Doge co-lead, Vivek Ramaswamy, in explaining why they would oppose what they characterize as wasteful spending in the bill. Meanwhile, some Republicans questioned why Trump hadn't weighed in sooner. Trump and Vance also took a different stance on the bill than Musk, who endorsed the idea of simply allowing the government to shut down until January 20th, when Trump is set to take office again. Instead, Trump and Vance called on lawmakers to pass a more narrowly tailored bill while simultaneously raising the debt ceiling, a request that likely won't go over well with many of the same hardline Republicans who cheered Musk's opposition to the bill. As of Thursday afternoon, it remains unclear how lawmakers will proceed and whether they'll be able to pass any bill through the House and Senate before government funding runs out at midnight on Friday. Congress does not pass a bill by then, the federal government will shut down, likely leading to flight delays, closures of national parks, and delayed paychecks for some federal workers and members of the military. Of course, this was written here before they actually averted the shutdown, but still, it dovetails into the video, which, again, is still of concern. And there's some people in MAGA who are getting a bit annoyed that Democrats keep painting Musk as the real president, and there's a lot of reasons why that is, but and one of the things, and I think it's the most obvious, is the fact that Trump is not a young man. Okay, he's 78 years old, and I think we've seen this year as a pretty damn good example. All year long we've been watching him campaign, and it's been laughable, along with annoying, but very laughable that people would show up to his rallies and listen to this fucking bullshit, that he would spew at these rallies and think that was the greatest thing since sliced bread. And I'm like, what the hell do you see in this fucker? This isn't like, I like science fiction and I like Westerns. Or, I like mashed potatoes, or I like French fries. It ain't that kind of a thing. Okay, the differences between Trump, Biden, and Kamala were so apparent, so stark. I mean, it was just, how the hell can anyone sit there and say that this guy, that Trump, had anything good to say or any ideas, which he said he had concepts of? Okay, how could anyone even think that was a better choice? Okay, clearly the people making that decision have a screw loose. It has to be that. That's got to be the only answer. You've got to be crazy to think that Trump was the guy to run this country for another 4 years. And it's not like, hey, we never had this guy as president before. Yeah, we did. And it wasn't a very good experience for most of the Americans, okay? Especially for Republicans. But hey, it's like, oh, forget it. It's water under the bridge. Really? Water under the bridge? That's really kind of odd, considering. But hey, it ain't just that. The fact that, Trump's a criminal and, a rapist and all that stuff. Still, they'd rather have him in there than, someone who actually upholds the law, okay, and respects the government and the Constitution. And, hey, aim to have, this country continue growing, from the bottom up, the middle out. She had plans to keep it going, and for health care, people wouldn't be, there's like 3 million children here have already lost their health care already because, hey, he's not going to, Trump's not going to do anything about that, expanding that. No, it's not going to happen. So, a lot of people are going to lose their health care. And it's of no concern to the people coming into the White House now, okay? It's not their concern. Which, kind of goes into that little side event there that took place here in New York City with that CEO getting shot. I mean, there's going to be more of that going on, I feel. I don't see that there's going to be anything good coming out of this. And I know Republicans are going to, nah, you're just being, okay, you know what? Fuck you. I don't want to hear from you, all right? Because you're crazy. I just said you're crazy because anybody that would support Trump is a lunatic. So I don't listen to crazy people. You got nothing to offer me. You got no facts to offer me. You've got nothing but hyperbole. You got nothing but gaslighting. That's all you offer, okay? You would still tell me he was a good president. If he set the country on fire and was watching it burn, you would still argue with me that Trump is a better president. And because of that, that's why I don't want to hear from you, okay? I've already got a couple of comments from people making, ridiculous remarks here that I'm stupid and, wrong and all that. And it's like, you know what? I'm comfortably, I sleep well because I know where I stand on this and I'm right. I'm right. You're wrong. I'm right. You're just mealy-mouthed individual that's listening to some pretty bad information, making your decisions based on that, and you're plowing the Titanic right into an iceberg. Okay, I don't have to listen to you. Okay, you lost any credibility with me when you supported Trump. Okay, that right there was okay. Goodbye. I don't have to listen to you. You're a Trump supporter. We're not going to ever have an intelligent conversation, ever. So I'll just treat you like a little child because that's really the only thing you'll understand. And again, this is what we're going to get. And with Musk in the picture, everybody's really saying the same thing. It's going to get too cozy. The two of them at some point are going to split ways. All right. And, it's very weird how, Trump was, and I wonder how many people are going to remember this. Trump was always going after Barack Obama, saying, oh, he's not an American, he was born in Africa. Remember that? And he didn't want him being president. He said he's disqualified for being president. Yet, on the other hand, we got Elon Musk, who is from Africa. He's not a citizen of this country. And he's allowed him into the upper echelons of our government to do what he wants. And I'm thinking, that right there proves the reason behind his attack on Obama was all based on racism, okay? Because it didn't matter. It doesn't matter to Trump now that someone's from Africa, and he's got them cozied up with a desk next to his desk. And you know what? That's fine with him. But, it's very strange how, we got an oligarchy now, officially. That's what we are now. It's not a government by the people. That's being taken away from us. And now it's just the rich people. At least for the next 4 years, it's only going to be the rich people that are going to be heard by the government. The rest of us, well, we're going to lose our health care. We're going to lose our jobs. We're going to have higher prices at the stores. Gas will probably go up in price. It's going to be difficult for people to secure homes and property. Interest rates are going to go up. I don't see how really anything good is going to happen for us at the bottom end of the ladder. But for the rich people, it's going to be more tax breaks, more corporate welfare from the government. You know, it's just going to be a world for them. You know, America for the rich for the next 4 years. And you know, where we stand. I mean, the Democrats are really going to have to fight with fire here. They're really going to have to. All this high ground moral shit talk, that's over and done with. Nobody wants to hear that anymore in the Democrat base. Nobody. Okay, we're sick of it. I don't care what they say on, you know, the politicians say. You either fight dirty or we're just not going to participate in your party anymore. And we're just going to let the country go to hell. But it's up to you. If you're going to fight, or you know, if you're going to fight, then you fight. But if you're not going to fight the way we want you to fight, then don't waste our time. And we're not going to donate money to people that won't fight hard. Okay? We're not going to do it. We're just not going to do it. Okay? And, you know, this is where it's come to in this country because, you know, people are tired of not getting their way. When the majority wants something and they don't get it, and the minority gets what they want, don't you see there's an inherent problem with that? Okay. And in this case, the minority got their way, even when they thought they were going to get something and they're not going to get it now. Okay, that still they got their way. But now if the election was held today, they'd lose. Okay, if the election was held today, Trump wouldn't have won. That I can guarantee you. Because the margin of victory between Kamala and Trump is so narrow that, you know, the way MAGA feels right now, or at least some people in MAGA feel right now, they never would have voted for Trump again. I mean, why were they looking up on Google, can I change my vote? Okay, how many thousands do you think were probably looking up that? You know, it's just, it's a sign of their ignorance, but it's also a sign of buyer's remorse, you know. And I told people that was going to happen after Trump won, that people are not going to be happy in a very quick time. Okay, and I was right, because he hasn't even taken the oath of office yet, and already he's going to be going in there with a very low approval number. And you see, that's how it works. They didn't do their homework when they were supposed to do it, and they fell right into the shit. So, you know, what are we going to do? Well, we can't help them, you know. We hope that they'll learn from their mistakes, but you know what? I'm not gonna hold my breath, because how many presidents have we had that were Republican presidents who made all kinds of problems, but the Republicans just keep voting the same old types of people over and over again. It seems like every Republican president has steadily been less intelligent as time went on. You know, doesn't it seem odd, you know, that every Republican president, you know, Nixon, Bush, okay, Trump, it progressively diminishes in intellectual capacity. It's because these people are not being voted on their intellectual capacity. They're being voted to give favors to the rich. All they need is their foot in the door, so that way the Republicans can take the White House and just hand out, you know, money from our government to the wealthy by cutting their taxes and letting them keep more of what they earn, and you know, deregulate so they can, you know, do more harm to the country and the environment and stuff, and they make more money that way. You don't need somebody that's smart on their side to run the country, because they don't care about the country. They don't care about what the tax dollars are being used for. They don't care about any of that. Okay? So that's why we find ourselves here at this point where we have the dumbest man as president for a second time, with, you know, Elon Musk standing next to him. And these two egos are going to clash at some point down the road here. And it's going to be quite a shit show. You know, That's just how it's going to be. All right, let's go to a commercial break.
This is me.
This is me.
This is me!
This is me.
I'm Alex Curtis. I'm a lobsterman in Maine, and this is me.
I'm Ruth McLaughlin, and this is me.
I'm Eric Hopkins. I'm an artist, and this is me.
This is me.
Me. This is me.
This is me. This is me.
At the end of the journey, the main thing is you, original.
How stupid are the people of Iowa? How stupid are the people of the country? We have people that are stupid. There's something wrong with them. And there's something wrong with her, too. She's slow, low IQ. She's a low IQ individual. Low IQ individual. Well, you know, you think they're stupid, and they are really pretty dumb. Stupid. She didn't know where the hell she was going. Does she drink? Is she on drugs? Some of the dumbest people I've ever met in my life. A terrible, stupid person. And he's stupidly, because he's a stupid guy, too. He's a stupid son of a bitch. We have a guy who's a dumb son of a bitch.
He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay?
The Democrats say, please don't call them animals. They're humans. I said, no, they're not humans. They're not humans. They're animals. Root out the communists, Marxists, fascists, and the radical left thugs that live like vermin within the confines of our country.
But do you believe in punishment for abortion? Yes or no, as a principle? There has to be some form of punishment. For the woman? Yeah, there has to be some form.
Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it. You know, when the guns are trained on her face. Now, we're a failing country. We are a failing nation. We are a nation in decline. We are a nation in decline. We are a failed nation. The American dream is dead.
This is a Toyota Corona, the way Toyota experts see it. 700 tests and inspections later, this is Toyota Corona, the way America sees it. A car that goes from 0 to with room for 5, reclining bucket seats, nylon carpeting, automatic transmission, fully automatic, with performance and economy that has made the Toyota Corona the nation's #3 import. But the 4-door is only half the story. There's another Toyota Corona, America's lowest priced hardtop. And that's a story all by itself.
Be a part of the entertainment value of a lifetime.
I loved it.
It was the best performance I've seen in a lifetime.
I loved the show. I liked it very much. He's a very entertaining man. It's well worth the money.
Now appearing in Charlottetown, coming to Halifax November 6th to the 18th, and St. John November 20th through the 26th.
So the next video I have is talks about how the American people are feeling right now as far as the economy, the spending and all that, how that's going right now for them. So why don't we just jump into that video here, and then we'll discuss that on the other side.
Consumers are feeling instant regret after Donald Trump has just behaved like an utter maniac. U.S. consumer confidence is down. Economists expected there would be an increase in U.S. consumer confidence, but that ain't happening. This comes from the Wall Street Journal. U.S. consumers feel less confident as economy concerns mount. We warned you. Here's the report. Confidence among American consumers dropped unexpectedly this month, with expectations growing bleaker for the economic situation in the new year. An index of sentiment published by research group The Conference Board dropped 8.1 points to 104.7, defying hopes for an increase, according to a consensus of economists compiled by the Wall Street Journal. The Expectations Index, measuring consumers' near-term confidence in income, business, and the jobs market, fell 12.6 points to 81.1, taking it close to the level that often signals a recession, the Conference Board said. Quote, "The recent rebound in consumer confidence was not sustained in December, as the index dropped back to the middle of the range that prevailed over the past 2 years," said Dana M. Peterson, chief economist at the Conference Board. A less optimistic mood among consumers contrasts with the growing confidence in the private sector, according to monthly surveys set out last week. That showed a further pickup in activity following November's election, driven by the buoyancy in the services sector. Maybe because consumers don't feel the buoyancy that you're referring to. That's when the oligarchs are now churning deals, believing that there's not going to be any regulations to protect consumers, and also that when they engage in reckless deal making, that they'll be bailed out by Donald Trump and that they'll get their tax cuts. But consumers feel that they're getting screwed. But I thought Donald Trump had his accordion hands and he was saying, I'm going to make everyone feel so rich. You're going to be so rich, and housing prices, there's going to be so much housing. You're not even going to get to know what to do with it all. But now consumers Googled, wait a minute, what's a tariff? Oh, wait a minute, that's going to make my prices go up. That's a tax on consumers. Oh, that doesn't sound good. Wait a minute. Mass deportations, you're going to send our labor force out of the country? Wait a minute, that sounds like it could cause a recession. Wait a minute, you're talking about conquering Greenland and Panama, and you've appointed the most reckless people, or nominated the most reckless people to the cabinet? That doesn't sound too good. Wait a minute. Your cabinet, Donald Trump, is made up of people who have almost $1 trillion of net worth, and you've basically delegated everything to Elon Musk, who's doing things like interfering with continuing resolutions to avoid government shutdowns, and then voila, restrictions on business in China for people like Elon Musk. that magically gets removed from continuing resolutions that end up passing, that don't sound like it's going to be good to the average Jane and Joe consumer. And perhaps that's why U.S. consumers are now feeling less confident. And perhaps when Donald Trump's out there making posts that you want to buy a new Trump guitar, go to gettrumpguitars.com. By the way, didn't Gibson Guitars already send him a cease and desist letter that he was stealing their design? But why would that stop Donald Trump from further misappropriating potentially their intellectual property? And again, why the hell is he out there selling guitars? Dude, you're the leader. I don't want you to be, but you're about to be the leader of the most powerful nation and you're selling gettrumpguitars.com? The hell? And when I go to that website, by the way, it's like the guitar you get may not actually be the guitar in the photo. The guitar may arrive 5 to 6 months, but it doesn't matter. All sales are final. The most griftiest crap imaginable. But hey, folks, CNN's chiming in with a CNN bulletin. The president-elect has suggested a territorial expansion into Panama, Greenland, and Canada. If he's serious, it would rival the Louisiana Purchase. Quite literally state-run media at this point. How pathetic can CNN be? I mean, you're normalizing this. If he's serious about conquering the sovereign nations of Panama and Greenland, this could be a doozy, folks. Seriously, CNN? Okay, we're not invading Greenland and Panama and conquering land. Okay, you may in your imaginary world think that you're basically RT, Russian TV. Is that what CNN stands for in America right now? I wonder this as well. Perhaps consumers are getting a little bit pissed when they're seeing Trump friends like Dan Pena give this message for Christmas. This is what Donald Trump's buddy Dan Pena has to say about all of us. Play this clip.
This is the beginning of the greatest economic cycle this country has had since World War II. And I knew the things that Donald would do. And he hasn't even fucking got started. But this is the eye of the motherfucking storm. The perfect storm. It ain't never gonna get any fucking better. Never. This is perfect for the QLA model. If I could have written the motherfucker a prescription or a formula, I couldn't have written it any better. Low interest rates, money's free, you stupid fucks. Massive chaos. And Donald's gonna rip the motherfucking economy apart. And he's gonna fuck it for practice in a good way. This is it! It ain't never gonna get any fucking better! This is like a multiple orgasm the rest of your life, you fucking slags that are in the audience.
Oligarchs taking their boots and stepping on us and thinking that we are dumb. And again, I don't care if you're a Democrat, Republican, Independent. That's Trump's guy. What do you think the real cabal does at Mar-a-Lago? They do crap like that. And they mock people who aren't billionaires. Mocking you, mocking me, mocking the 99% that President Biden tried to help with his bottom-up, middle-out economics. But no, Donald Trump, Mr. Accordion Hand, said all of these things. But what does Mr. Accordion Hand say now? Remember when he went to the New York Stock Exchange 2 weeks ago, Jim Cramer, the propagandist at CNBC, who poses as like a journalist, pathetic. Jim Cramer goes, so Mr. President-elect, should workers invest in the stock market? Should they invest in the stock market? By the way, is there any more softball question than that? Trump's at the New York Stock Exchange being asked, should workers invest in the stock market? Because I'll tell you, your 401k is certainly up under President Biden, 55, 60%, maybe even more. And President Biden never bragged about the economy. No, he was so humble about it every step of the way. Too humble about it. I should brag, boast about your economy, President Biden. What does Donald Trump say to Jim Cramer? I don't know. I don't think people should. I'm not sure they should. I'm worried if there's a dip in the stock market that they're going to get hurt. You're worried about a dip? You're Mr. Accordion Hands. You said, like the Pied Piper of false promises, that everything was going to get better. Mortgage rates are up right now. Mortgage rates may hit 7%. Well, they're past 7%, 8%. They may absolutely get even higher than that. But I thought you were going to fix the housing market. I thought that. But what are the priorities? Rand Paul, MAGA Republican. The power of some of us will be used for good. Like we're going to put Dr. Fauci in jail. Okay. So now you've put RFK Jr. In charge of health. Mr. Polio himself, Mr. Vaccines don't work, Mr. Spread disinformation, Mr. Ivermectin, Mr. Horse Tranquilizer, Mr. Take a look at what he did in the past with all of his ridiculous policies overseas, like actually leading to polio outbreaks. But anyway, this is what AOC has to say. AOC's asked this question. Are we witnessing the start of an oligarchy right now? Watch her response. Let's play it.
Oh, I don't think we're witnessing the start of an oligarchy. I think we are fully here. You literally have a completely unelected billionaire who has just taken over and paused government funding to specifically take out provisions regarding China and other areas that pertain to him. You have billionaires who run news outlets like Jeff Bezos and the Washington Post, billionaires that run the LA Times, completely interjecting into their editorial boards and manipulating what's being written in them. We're here. We are here. And we are going to witness very unprecedented moments come January.
And as she said, it's here now. It's the Trump oligarchy right here with Trump and Elon and Vivek Ramaswamy and all these private equity people who now have positions in his cabinet. Wall Street Journal is also reporting America's farm recession is here. Associated Press does this one. An analyst looks ahead to how the U.S. economy might fare under Trump. What a weird photo, though. Like, ooh, tariffs, cool, fancy. I mean, I don't even know what I'm even looking at here. But they asked this analyst, the Associated Press, what do you expect on tariffs? Watch this ridiculous response, though. During his first term, Trump used tariffs as a negotiating tool to draw concessions out of other countries. We're seeing an echo with recent threats toward Canada and Mexico and China. I think there will be a 10% universal tariff and higher tariffs on China. I don't think many countries would be able to negotiate their way out of it. This feeds through to final consumer good prices. It will add up to 1% to inflation, but this is a one-off change rather than an increase in the ongoing inflation rate. What do you base that on? What do these analysts just make crap up to defend Donald Trump? We just think he's just making it up. He's not really going to do it. It'll be short term. What in the world are you basing this on? Are you basing it on the fact that you're agents of the oligarchy and that you want to make sure that the stock market tries to stay high so the richest people can make a lot of money while none of this benefits consumers? The price of eggs are still going to be up. The price of goods are going to be up. Trump was asked by Kristen Welker on Meet the Press, can you guarantee us the prices are going down? He said no. In Time magazine, he goes, it's very, very hard to bring the prices down. Seriously? But guess what, everybody? Trump tariff chaos is creating a cash cow for consultants, according to CNN. Great news for wealthy consultants. They're making a lot of money right now over the tariffs. How much will it cost? Is it going to hurt consumers? This question comes as Trump vows to levy across-the-board tariffs. And these consultants are raking it in, folks, making huge amounts of money on fees. The New Republic reports, we're already seeing signs that Trump is tanking the economy. Your stock portfolio may grow, but say goodbye to next year's raise and maybe even your job, is what they're saying here in this report. And it goes on to talk about indicators of recession. And it talks about, even this guy goes, everybody knows that Trump is all about reviving American manufacturing. Okay, everybody knows that. The guy's a BS artist. He's a con artist. He's not about reviving it. He knows how to exploit workers. He knows how to be a predator and how to prey on people who believe that he's going to make them rich. He's the ultimate grifter. It goes on to say, but the National Association of Manufacturers, whose president Jay Timmons, who praised Trump in 2017 as a true champion for our industry, forecast in a new post-election survey that in 2025, capital investment would grow only 1.6%. That's not particularly robust, Timmons told Bloomberg's Mark N. in a December forecast. Another manufacturing trade group, the Institute for Supply Management, predicted a more robust increase. But that's compared to an increase of 5.6% this calendar year. Wait a minute, you're telling me that everything grew under President Biden? By the way, remember the headlines under President Biden, just to compare and contrast, right? It was robust, things are growing, things are high, new record. And now, under Donald Trump and the oligarchy, it's fear of Trump tariffs cause Americans to stockpile toilet paper, medicine, and food prices. Food as prices rise. More Americans stockpile ahead of tariffs. American companies are stockpiling to get ahead of Trump's tariffs. Americans rush to buy cars and appliances before Trump's new tariffs. So I wonder, why is it that consumer confidence is down? Maybe people are realizing now, they're in the find out stage already, that this maniac lied to them like he lies all the time. Final message, though, to everybody. We got to stand up to this oligarchy. We got to push back against this oligarchy. And I truly want to tell you that you shouldn't even be looking at this as a political issue. Now, hold MAGA Republicans accountable because they're the ones who lied to you. Let me be clear about that. Where to direct your rage and outrage, peacefully, of course, but who's doing this to you? It's MAGA Republicans and Trump, the leaders of the oligarchy who are screwing the consumers. But again, I don't care what political party you're from. This guy's a con artist who is freaking screwing you. They're distracting you with culture war issues as subterfuge for the class war that the billionaires are waging against you. They're picking your pocket and telling you you should care about a transgender volleyball athlete in San Jose State, which doesn't affect your life at all. There's 510,000 NCAA athletes. There's potentially 10 at most, probably less, transgender athletes in all of the NCAA, but they want to go, the gender wars, this, that, penis, vaginas. Just stop it. They're distracting you while they pick your freaking pockets. And I want you to be aware of it and see what they're doing. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe. Let's get to...
All right, so here's an article from the AP in the business section. This was published yesterday, and it's entitled American Consumers Feeling Less Confident in December, Conference Board Says. Written by Matt Ott, O-T-T. American consumers are feeling less confident in December, a business research group says. The conference board said Monday that its consumer confidence index fell back in December to 104.7 from 112.8 in November. Analysts forecast a rise to a reading of 113.8. Consumers had been feeling increasingly confident in recent months, spending more in the run-up to the all-important holiday shopping season. The Consumer Confidence Index measures both Americans' assessment of current economic conditions and their outlook for the next 6 months. The measure of Americans' short-term expectations for more income, businesses, and the job market tumbled more than a dozen points to 81.1. The Conference Board says a reading under 80 can signal a potential recession is in the near future. The proportion of consumers expecting a recession over the next 12 months remains stable. The board reported Monday that consumers' view of current conditions ticked down just more than a point to a reading of 140.2. Consumers stepped up their spending at retail stores last month, contributing to a 0.7% rise in retail sales in November. Another report showed that consumers increased their spending by a solid 0.4% from October to November, a sign that households continue to propel the economy. The U.S. economy grew at a healthy 3.1% annual rate last quarter, largely thanks to consumer demand. Consumer spending accounts for nearly 70% of U.S. economic activity and is closely watched by economists for signs how the American consumer is feeling. And you know, what do you think that is? Why this has happened here? Why now in December people are backing off on their spending? Because of the shit that Trump's been saying he's going to do, or not going to do in some cases, okay? I think people were hoping that, you know, Trump was going to make good on his promise about reducing the price of groceries, and now he says that he can't guarantee that he's going to be able to do that. So basically that's saying, no, it's not going to happen, okay? Plus, he's talking about this goddamn tariff war he wants to start with various countries, which, as people found out after they Googled it, what a tariff is, okay, they found out that that's going to increase costs in this country across the board for lots of things. And, you know, people are saying, you know, maybe now isn't the time to be spending. You know, we maybe have to save our money. I mean, we got people out there stockpiling stuff already, you know, for days to come. And I commented about that before, saying, how much do you really think you can stockpile in 4 years? You know, for a 4-year period, you know, you can't do it. You know, you would be spending tons of money now, okay, doing that, and you're still going to end up paying more than you should by stockpiling, because you're buying everything in bulk. I mean, I think about places like Sam's Club and, you know, and these BJs or whatever the hell they call it, these outfits that they're like warehouses where people buy in bulk. Okay, that's expensive to buy in that fashion, especially if it's just for yourself. Okay, and then where are you going to stockpile all this shit? Because you're talking 4 years, my friend. Okay, eventually you're gonna have to go and buy stuff in the grocery store during that 4-year period. You're not ever going to be able to stockpile enough. Okay, so we're all going to be fucked in the ass here, as they say, by Trump and this track that he's putting us on. And it's not going to be pretty, because for a lot of us, you know, that might mean that we'd have to make choices on what we're going to spend our money on. You know, either we pay for our rent or we buy food, you know, or we pay for our medical bills or we buy food. They're not going to have money to be able to divide up to all these things, okay? And I can see that bankruptcies are going to go on the rise, okay? For the Republicans out there who are against student loan debt forgiveness and all that, well, guess what you've done? You're piloting these people for a bankruptcy. How do you think that helps the country? Okay? You know, either way, they ain't going to be able to pay the fucking bill. You know, you try to force them to pay it, well, they can't. Now they're going to lose everything. So what do you think you've done? Have you made the problem better or worse? You know? How's that going to affect you? And the fact is that, you know, a lot of people just don't seem to understand, you know, when it comes to about people that have gone to college and walked out of there with all kinds of fucking money they got to owe. Okay, it's easy to sit there and say, oh, pay your bills, right? Okay, true, but you also tell people, you know, to get an education so they can make it in life, so they can, you know, as you say, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You want them to be able to get a job. Well, they can't exactly do that without a decent education in order to survive, because you keep raising the cost of everything, and these people are trying to keep up with that, and you're making it impossible. Instead of thinking about only your own personal needs, your own personal wants, at the expense of how many thousands of other people who can't manage that, you know. Stop being an asshole, and you know, in another word, okay? don't tell people, oh, it's your fault that you got all this debt. No, these people were being responsible. They were trying to map out a fucking future for themselves, okay, where they can be prosperous and good taxpayers and stuff like that. And you're sitting here kicking the legs off from under them and telling them, oh, pick yourself up by your bootstraps. Pay your fucking bills. With what? Dirt? Because, hey, you can't pay for something without money. And how are they going to get money if you're going to take away their fucking jobs? Okay? Because that's what Trump is going to do. He's going to make people lose all kinds of fucking jobs in this country. And at the same time, he's going to expect people to pay their bills. I mean, that's pretty lopsided thinking. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hey, it's okay for big companies not to pay their fucking bills, right? No, we'll just cut your taxes and we'll give you bailouts and we'll do all this shit, right? That's what we do. We help out the rich in this country, but for the small guy there, the working class, you know, no, you go into debt, you fall on your face, your fault. Don't look to us to help you out. You know, and, you know, Biden was trying to help a lot of these people, help them out. So that way they could get a honest start with the education that they got. All right. And I feel like, look, if Republicans don't want debt forgiveness things to be part of the mandate for Democrats, then why don't you go after these goddamn colleges and universities and tell them to cut their fucking costs? Okay? Because if you're not going to help us with one, you know, on one side of this problem, let's go on the other side then. Okay? But you can't do nothing. You're not allowed to do nothing about this or to preach to these people and tell them they need to pick themselves up by their bootstraps. You have no right to tell these people that. That's not your life. That's their life. And they understand what they're doing better than you do. So if you're not going to help these people with their bill, okay, then you go after the fucking universities and college that are sticking it to the damn students that are going to school here. Okay? You tell them we're capping costs here. That's it. All right? You're not going to get any more out of this because you're bankrupting all kinds of people. You're putting them through a system and they come out and they're broke. And they can't get these jobs that they trained for or studied for while they were in school. Okay? That's going to stop. You people either deliver, you know, what these kids want, or, you know, your schools are just not going to get any government help or whatever the hell you guys are getting. Okay? That's it. That's what I would say. Look, we're just going to cut you off because you're fucking with the whole system here. You're destroying our society. You know, you tell people, oh, come to the university, get a decent ed, you have this job. You know, you promise them all these things are going to happen. And I've seen the commercials. You've seen the commercials. You know, come to this school, come to that school, get an education. Well, they'd love to, but they can't afford it. And if there's a paywall between a person and their education, then that wall is really made out of bricks. They're not going to be able to break that down, okay? Because you're saying, well, you've got to have a good paying job to go to college. Well, if they have a good paying job and where they can afford to go to college, why would they want to go to college? Okay, if they're already making good money. Okay, it's like, you know, why would a wealthy person want to go to college if they're set for life with the money that they have? Okay, that would just be a waste of time and money. And then, you know, who the hell wants to? But the fact is if you have to, you got to butter the fucking bread. You got to make these people understand, you know, that the costs are going to be minimal. All right, there's no excuse for these ridiculously high prices that people have to pay to go to college. It's ridiculous. Okay, the cost of, I mean, you can look it up, you know, online about how the cost of living and how the cost of colleges has way surpassed coal in this country. It's gone right through the fucking roof here, way ahead of what people are getting paid and all that stuff for jobs, like in wages. It's out of most people's reach to go to college. That's why so many kids are, you know, living at home, trying to work at a goddamn McDonald's or, you know, or some place that's paying minimum wage, if that. And these people, they want to go to college, but they can't. They can't afford it. I mean, the cost of the books that they got to buy is a lot. You know? And, you know, like I said, it's, you know, there's a lot of lot of fucking problems. You know, we got a healthcare problem, we got an education problem, we got all these problems. And we got the wrong person as president to be able to help fix that out. Okay, we all know this. What Trump's going to be doing for the next 4 years is just going to be bullshit. He ain't going to do a damn thing to help the country. He's going to let it slide down into the toilet even further than it already is now. He's just going to let it keep going. You know, why? He hates America. He said that while he was talking to people at his rallies. He said, country sucks. It's burning, it's going to hell in a handbasket. I mean, he hates the country. He figures it's a lost cause. Why would he want to do anything to help it? Okay? No, in his mind, he's been victimized by America so bad that he wants to see the country pay for it. He wants to see the country burn. Everybody was against him the last 4 years, okay? Calling him every name in the book and sending him into one trial after another. Revenge is all that's on that little man's mind, okay? That's it. That's all he's got in his head. He's going to make everybody suffer because of the last 4 years. Okay? So don't have any hope at all that, you MAGA people out there, that you're going to be getting something good from him. Okay? He's only going to make you more and more angry. And as you watch Fox News will tell you that it's the Democrats that's doing that to you. Okay? And of course, you'll probably believe it because you're too stupid to double check these things when it's being told to you. Okay? So you keep doing what you've been doing. All right? You keep doing what you've been doing. That led you to finding out, oh, that's what a tariff is. Okay? That, you people are going to be walking around with egg on your face for the rest of your life because you didn't do a goddamn thing to smarten up, to take an election seriously and not treat it like a football game. Okay? You people are going to have to learn the hard way. You know? And that's where we are. I mean, that's kind of what it is. And like I said, right now, the numbers are showing that people in this country are really nervous now about what's coming. And all Trump is going to have to do is make one little fucking problem that's going to affect the economic stability of millions of Americans, and that's it. His name is going to be mud from that day on, because they'll never forgive him for that. All right? It's funny that it's like a record. It's like a record. What a song that you hate, okay? And then when you were done playing that song, you put it on the stack of records and you put another record on and you started playing that. And it was a nicer melody. And then for some reason you decided, I want to listen to that shitty song again. You take that record off and you put the older one back on and you playing it. Who does that? I ask you, who does that? Nobody. Usually when people hate something, they hate it. They don't want to see it again, right? That's the way humans are, right? If you go to a restaurant, you pick something on a menu that you never had before because you want to do something new. So you got it, ate it, said, I didn't like it. Gave me acid reflux, or it didn't taste right or something. Okay. And the next time you go in there, you don't pick that again. You pick something else. And the other thing you get tasted good, right? That person's not going to go back to that restaurant again and pick the thing that they didn't like, right? Makes sense. What doesn't make sense is when somebody goes into that restaurant and pick that damn meal again that made them sick. Okay? So I ask you, why is it supposed to make more sense that people pick Trump to come back as president again after the terrible experience we had with him the last time? That's not right. That's against human nature to do that. And people are right to call the people that supported Trump for a second term, it's right to call them a cult, because that's what cult people do. Cult people like things that other people don't like. Okay? That's why you got, these religious groups out there. We call them cult groups because, it's a small, well, maybe not always small, but it's a group of people that believe in things that other people don't believe in, but they really believe with all their heart and they put all their faith in it, and nothing bad can happen inside that that group and all that. Nothing bad can happen. It's perfect for them. It's perfect. Okay. That's what MAGA is. That's the way we see MAGA, is because MAGA's getting nothing from being a part of this cult. They're getting nothing. But MAGA, you can't convince them of that. They think they are going to get something. What? I don't know. Because I think maybe they're too afraid to say what they think they're going to get, because I think deep down they know they won't. So they won't tell people why they think Trump is going to be good for them and the country. Because they don't really know for certain. And they certainly found out this month that some of the things that he said he was going to do for them, he ain't going to do. Okay? So I feel like, MAGA really doesn't know why. But they like him despite his flaws and his crimes. They like the guy because he talks to them on their education level. Now, when he says he likes the poorly educated, well, maybe because, he comes off as poorly educated is the reason why he can connect to them. So, how smart can he possibly be, if he can reach them on that level? I don't know. There's something to be said about that, I think. And why is he afraid of people who are educated? Why does he hate them? Because they can read his bullshit? Because they can see when he's telling a lie? Is that why he hates people who are well educated? Because he's had a lot of trouble trying to deal with them in his life, because he tried to swindle people that were smart and they said, fuck you, when they walked away. But the dumbass that he'd make a broker a deal with or something where he was going to stick them, they would fall for it because they were too dumb to see it. That, maybe there's a lot to that, why he likes the poorly educated, because his whole life he was hoping to run into people that were stupid in order to get his way. But smart people always avoided him because they knew what he was. And as he goes through life, doing what he does, he leaves a wake of people behind him who are like, I hate this fucking guy. He's a crook, he's this, he's that. I'm never going to do business with him again. He does this. Everywhere he goes, he leaves a bunch of bitter people behind him wherever he goes. Okay? It's not a wonder that there were 3 attempts to kill this guy while he was running for president this year. Okay? There's probably a line of people, waiting for the opportunity that's yet to come. I don't know. But, a guy that makes people so angry at him, okay, and betrays people as he goes, that's a guy who's, ain't long for this world. But, yeah, he's 78 years old, so he's been able to dodge a lot of shit. But the fact is, there could be a bullet with his name on it that's still lurking out there somewhere from somebody that he did business with or associated with, and he stuck him. And now, they're looking for him or waiting for the right moment to strike. This guy, he's not a well-liked man. He's got his cult following who love him. And then you've got the other side that hates his guts. There's no in-between with this man. Okay? There's no in-between. And believe me, the people that hate Trump outnumber those who love him. Okay? And I'm even including his family in that assessment as well. He's got family members that ain't too fond of him either, because he was a real prick to his brother and his father and and everybody else that in his family. Okay, he was really a fucking asshole, and I believe it. You take a look at the people that he considered friends that he hung around with. A bunch of lowlifes with money. They're still lowlifes. Doesn't matter if they got money or not. People with no moral character or moral core are lowlifes. And he hung around with these folks because he felt at home with them. People like Jeffrey Epstein. He felt comfortable around people like that, maybe because they share a lot. They shared a lot. It's hard to imagine somebody living their life that way, but I think it's with Trump's case, it's more than just being wealthy that makes him that way. I think it's just the idea that he was exposed to a lot of bad cats, you know, as I would put it, growing up. Okay, yeah, he had lots of money, but the way he is, I'm beginning to see now that there's a lot more to the reason why he is what he is. And it doesn't, 100% is not about just being wealthy, because there's wealthy people in the world who actually are very good people that do good things, okay? And they're very wealthy. But with Trump, there's something more to him than just money that makes him the way he is. There's something else. There's something more with that guy, you know, and I think it would be too easy just to dismiss him as having mental problems, okay? I think there's more to it than that. I think there's an, you know, if he didn't have the money, he would still be a roach, okay, in society. He'd still be a roach. You know, he'd probably be in prison for raping somebody, you know, or, you know, what I'm saying, drugs, because he was into that too. He'd be sitting in prison probably for 20 years or something or whatever, because he wouldn't have had the money to bail his ass out or to fight it. But I think without the money, he would just be one of the many sitting in prison now for life, for having gotten himself into trouble so deep that, you know, hey, something tragic. So I think, you know, if we're going to judge Donald Trump, you know, what kind of man is he? Let's just think about him as a person that doesn't have money, and let's gauge him on that. Because, yes, money can corrupt, all right? And we've seen our share of billionaires who are corrupt. Trump is a corrupt in a different way. Yeah, he's greedy and all that, but he's also amoral. Okay? He's also a person that thinks nothing about women. That's just nothing more than playthings. Things to buy and, you know, play around with, destroy them or whatever, chew them up, spit them out. Okay? He's got that sick side to him, that sadistic side of him, that compounds the greed that he has. All right? Now, he's an old man now, but what was he like before? When, you know, when he was like in his 40s or something like that. I mean, we only know, I mean, there's always somebody, you know, women sometimes are coming out and saying, oh, I didn't like him, he did this to me, did that to me. You know, how can you not believe that? I mean, considering, you know, what we know of him today and what he was convicted of today, okay? There has to be some truth there to it, right? So we have to say, you know, it's more than just a rich man getting his way. It's a rich person whose very core is hollow, has no fucking value on anything but himself. Okay? And being how he's been able to get so far in life the way he has, it was not because of his, what MAGA would think, oh, he's a great businessman. No, it's because he was already very wealthy before that. Okay? And he's been able to skip and do and walk between the raindrops all his life. But at the same time, he did all these things while he was out there doing all these crimes and getting away with it, you know, because he is who he is with his money. So he's such a flawed and scary and corrupted individual that, you know, we couldn't have found a more soulless person to have gotten involved into politics, you know, really, we couldn't have. I mean, you talk about a man with no soul. I don't see how this guy could have a soul. Jesus, you know, he doesn't believe in anything except greenbacks. Okay, I mean, that's to him, that's all that matters. But he doesn't have any belief in anything. Seriously, he doesn't. You know, like this holiday season don't mean anything to him. Christmas don't mean nothing to him. Okay, it doesn't mean a damn thing. Hate to think the way he tries to celebrate it if he does. Okay, you know, He doesn't have any moral compass to even gauge such things. You know, he tries to pretend that he cares about certain things, but he slips up and reveals that he doesn't. You know, it's like when you watch these crime shows and you see these people who committed a murder and they try to pretend that they're sad and all that, and you can see right through it. That's what Trump does. I mean, you can always see right through it, the act. You know, he doesn't care. Doesn't really care. And he gets mad at people when they try to question him or make him think about or see what he's doing. He gets mad. You know, you're a terrible reporter. You know, he lashes out at him. Hateful man. All right. So, everybody, Merry Christmas for tomorrow. And I hope everybody spends great quality, good time with friends, family, strangers even. You know, if you're one of those kind of people that will invite in a stranger, you know, try to make something good out of this, because memories are the only fucking thing we're ever going to have in our life that can't be taken away from us. And so make the memories good. Make the memories good, okay? And, you know, just keep in mind that, you know, spending the holidays alone is not a healthy thing. And so if you know anybody, or just, you know, just show up or something or whatever, and just be there, because I think there's a lot of people today who don't really like the gift-giving aspect of Christmas. I think like a lot of people feel that it's marketed, and it's a big business venture. It only supports the business when you're constantly buying stuff. Okay, why give the fat cats anything more than what they already have? Okay, save the gift buying for your kids. Okay, let them have that. The rest of us, we don't need gifts. Okay, we buy stuff for ourselves all year long. There's not a fucking thing we need that we don't already have. Okay, save it. So please enjoy your Christmas. All right, and I'll talk to you guys whenever I can do another video. Probably, maybe not tomorrow, maybe the next day. I don't know. We'll see. But again, Merry Christmas, everybody, and.